Well, well, well. Hello there. Welcome to You Haven't Seen That Yet? A podcast as podcasts of friends sitting around and watching movies that one or more person hasn't seen. Just a few bit of notes before we hop into the action. One, this isn't made for kids. There's going to be swearing and maybe one person's going to have their titties out. Who knows? Two, I'm aware of the audio issues on my end. Not sure what happened. Please forgive me. Or don't. I'm not your father figure. Three, we aren't professionals and we're just doing stuff for fun, so we might get some stuff wrong. It happens. Either way, enjoy this pilot episode.
I mean, I have an idea. I can text it to you later if you don't want that on. You want to start over?
I'm sure this will be edited down. It's fine.
Or I could just leave all of this in here.
Well, my idea for the name of it is You Haven't Seen That, and
That was
the idea. Yeah, you could do the first.
And we go
I was going to go with.
Yeah, we're going to go through watching a bunch of movies that say it's abnormal to haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
Gilly.
Yeah. See, I was about to say.
Gilly had this idea a long time ago.
Oh, did I?
Think alike.
See, I was gonna say I was expecting that this entire podcast was about calling me out because of the movies I hadn't seen back in college.
That would be unfair.
But it would also be like we had
Really
this idea a long time ago to do that, and I think it's fair that you should have other people on that like. I want to get somebody that hasn't watched The Thing.
Yeah.
Me.
Or Evil Dead. You haven't watched The Thing? That should be the next
I've
episode.
not watched.
Then.
I think I've not watched The Thing, and the only Evil Dead movie I saw was Army of Darkness.
Oh, we should definitely watch the other ones.
Then we
I still
should
haven't
watch
seen the first
other
one.
No, if you let me, I'm down for those episodes.
So currently right now I am forcing y'all to watch this movie today. I have a friend, my friend Wolfgang. Me and him are going to go through the Scream series too.
Oh, I have never watched.
I haven't seen those.
I've never seen those.
Hey, 4-person.
You want us to go ahead and introduce ourselves then?
Yes, please introduce thyselves.
Ladies first.
Yeah, me. Okay.
Yeah, you.
Should we probably say pronoun shit too, I guess?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Gilly. Pronoun is she or they. Yeah, and DJ's long time friend from college and best man at my wedding, and I have a lot of movies I haven't seen. So
Can't
that's the
see it, but I'm
start.
dabbing.
But you're what?
I'm dabbing
Okay.
right now.
Okay, cool.
And I call me Hell Breakfast. He him pronouns. I'm DJ's brother basically. And we also went to college. Gilly and I are married.
Yeah.
I was about to say, you might want to add that in there at some point.
Oh yeah,
we're married.
Precedent, right?
Yeah, we're married. We're coming up on what'll our next one be?
9 years, I think,
Yeah,
this
9
year,
years married.
November. Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. Being married's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that made it sound not like I was trying to.
Being married is a lot. It's a ton of work. Hey, young people about to get married. It's great. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's not easy.
And
I'm
DJ. This is on I'm just putting this on my YouTube channel, but I'm DJ. He, him, he, they. Either way, I'm not too picky. We're watching Everything Everywhere at Once today, which is going to make that previous comment about marriage being difficult hit real hard.
Uh-oh.
So I've seen this movie. This will be my 5th time. I saw it twice in theaters and 2 separate times afterwards.
Well, it seems like a good sign.
Good God.
It is one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time right now.
Good
Dear
start.
Lord.
Go ahead.
I've never seen it. I've heard people talk about it. I actually don't know what it's about because I've heard people say, "Oh yeah, this is a good movie," and then stop.
That is the best way to go into this movie. if you haven't seen the trailer, don't watch the trailer. The trailer gives nothing away. Just don't watch the trailer. Go into this movie blind. It has my girl Michelle Yeoh in it, and she's now in 2 of my top favorite 10 movies of all time. That sentence was wrong, but I'm gonna leave it in. It's, she's in this, and she's also in Wing Chun, which is a phenomenal movie that got me into wire fu stuff.
Oh shit!
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is there fighting in it?
There's a lot. I know vague details about the movie. I know it's kind of a little bit of a lot of things.
I guess it's called Everything Everywhere at Once for a reason.
Yeah.
Before
I don't want to say the things that I know because I kind of want.
Oh, you want me going in blind?
I forgot what name you introduced yourself as.
I introduced myself as Hell Breakfast.
Okay, I don't know what things Hell
Hecky. I don't know.
Has knows about the movie, so I kind of don't want to say the things that I know about it.
I know nothing about it.
This is going to be so good. So now let me get this out the way. It's an A24 movie. The folks that did like Hereditary, Midsommar.
I'm not ready for horror.
That's not a good start. I don't think it's.
It's not a horror
movie. No.
It is not a horror movie.
I like horror. I am a horror guy, but like I'm a whore for horror. But like.
You weren't expecting you weren't prepared for horror.
I think they're also behind Malignant too.
Good God.
I heard that's an interesting movie too.
I've seen one GIF from like the climax.
The climax,
it
goes a bit insane at the end.
Okay, so it's starring Michelle Yeoh. It has James Hong in it, and I cannot pronounce his name. And I feel bad because I don't have it up in front of me. But Short Round from Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was still acting.
He took a long extended break, came back, did this movie, and then won an Oscar.
Yeah. I mean, I will be honest. If I was Short Round, I would probably take a very extended break from Hollywood too, because he was a child actor. I have no idea if it went bad for him or not, but...
Yeah.
And I do also want to preface, I had this idea in my little brain box, like not months, but like weeks before the Oscars happened, and they won everything.
Good for him. I mean, I don't want my first intro into this thing to be, well, the Oscars are a rigged fucking thing with corporate interests, and they don't really watch the movies. Blah, 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 blah. I don't want to bring that negativity to this, but I do have to also acknowledge it.
Last bit of trivia before we start watching the movie. The directors turned down a Marvel movie to make this.
Oh, balls.
It was a project. It was something Marvel to do this. And it came out the same year as Multiverse of Madness, and this is the one that's winning all the awards.
Nice.
But to be fair, isn't Multiverse of Madness the Sam Raimi one?
Yeah, I liked it.
Nothing Sam Raimi ever makes is going to win an Oscar. Not because Sam Raimi's bad. Sam Raimi's great. I love Sam Raimi. It's just nothing. He doesn't appeal to that crowd.
Yeah, he likes doing weird shit.
He's a weird little man. But yeah, like that's some brass balls to turn down Disney.
Mm-hmm.
So
we ready?
I got expectations now. Yeah, I'm ready.
And like I said, if we need a break, let me know. I'm probably gonna have a fade out sound to like go to after we've watched the movie. It'll be here. It might be like twinkling or something. And I'm back with just a quick warning that after this point, there are nothing but spoilers. You can't talk about the movie without spoiling it. So if you have seen it, stick around. If you haven't, pause this. Go watch the movie and then come back. either way, I'm starting to ramble, so I think I'm just going to ease us into the second half of the episode. Hope you're having a good day.
So you want to record now, do you?
Yeah.
The most immediate reaction.
The most immediate reaction? I don't know if I can give my most immediate reaction, because that shit's fucking raw. I have pages of goddamn notes here. I'm not one to take notes on a fucking movie either.
I know we were supposed to be taking notes.
We weren't supposed to be taking notes.
Oh, man.
So,
Fucking...
that's the movie.
One, let me find something to clean my glasses with.
Oh, God, yeah.
It is now 5 for 5 for making me tear up.
Yeah, there's no fucking way. Also, yeah, this movie, I swear to God, someone on some level, there had to have been some intervention to have made this movie succeed, because this is not a movie that should have been popular or successful. This is a movie that is just up there with all of my fucking favorite goddamn, cult shit that has... Yeah, like, I don't know how they were, because I didn't see it because of the way it was marketed. Though, really, all they would have had to shown was the 2001 scene where she was going through, like, all the different faces of herself.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know,
if that had been the thing, I would have watched it.
As far as I know, it was heavily marketed, but it wasn't in, like, the areas that we tend to look at, and we also have ad block and everything.
We do have ad block on everything. Yeah. No, like, I know it was marketed.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was marketed properly. But I don't know I don't know what the right way to have marketed this would have been.
Yeah, because if you show too much, you give away the movie.
I don't know. I think you could, if you took, just scenes from each separate act and just splice them into a thing, it would be, no one would understand it. You show the hot dogs fingers? Did they show that in the fucking marketing?
Yes.
They showed a lot of weird stuff in the marketing. They showed just enough to go, okay, this is some weird, like, interdimensional hopping thing, and it's gonna be wild. So it's enough to be like, sure, I want to see what that is, because this is chaos.
When I saw this... Go ahead, you talk.
And you watch it, and it's like, oh, this is cool, and, like, there's a certain part where the adrenaline just hits a high pitch for whoever's watching, and then the sad and emotional shit happens, and you're just a wreck afterwards.
I don't know who was the director.
It was Daniels. The last movie that they did that I am aware of is the Swiss Army Man.
Is what?
Swiss Army Man.
I wanted to see that. I didn't get to see that.
Yeah, Daniel Kwana and Daniel Scheinert. That's right. They just call themselves Daniels.
They should.
It's pretty great.
If you have a buddy like that, right?
It's a really great way to put yourself out as director.
They're brilliant. That's one. The pacing is it is
fucking spot on. Yeah.
There is not a wasted scene in this movie.
Actually, if you give me a break, I need to get up. I think I'll have more cogent things to say if we record after a break and just have this part be the initial reactions.
No, we can always snip and paste things.
Yeah, is that all right?
Yeah. I mean, you got his initial reactions. Let's do my reaction. Well, then we'll break.
Yeah, you go ahead and do your reaction then. Your initial reactions then, while I walk away.
Yeah, liked it a whole lot. Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I don't know the words either. Yeah, it was. I mean, it's like as the title says, it was everything at once.
Everything everywhere all at once.
It's very good at capturing the. I don't know how to phrase it because it's just so many like discordant things going on at the same time, of like. Capturing just the everyday chaos of stuff, capturing the complexity of relationships, like as much as the main through line of things was about, I take it if we're doing reviews, there's no point in caring about spoilers.
When we transition it's just gonna be spoilers. Just spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. Yeah. that like Evelyn and Joy is like done as the main thread of the plot that's happening, but everything else is also a thing too, because it's also about relationships of living day to day in the life that we have while dealing with your freaking taxes, living with the chaos of decisions you make, living with relationships, living with how you're seeing things from other people's sides when it comes to like Deidre, is that how her name said, the IRS agent? Like giving you the thing. It's like you want to just hate her, and then it has to give you the thing of going that she is a complex person too. But you don't want to think about that. You want just people that you can just hate and move on with your life. You want random extras in your life that don't matter. You want people you can just be able to move on, and instead it has to tackle each one of those people in it and go, well, this is all people too. And the more, like, as you're opening up to the ideas of what's going on around you like that, the more you're suddenly having to care about everything. And either that drives you goddamn mad, or you just accept like, that that's just the complexity of the world and you roll with it.
Yep. Nothing matters. There's two different... It's nothing matters, so just burn it all, or nothing matters, make it easier for everybody else.
Yeah, roll on with everything, yeah. Like, I know when he comes back to it, he'll probably bring something about it too. And I won't get to...
I am back.
What you are back.
Welcome back.
Oh, cool. Good timing. Because I was going to point out, like, I won't get too in-depth because this itself would be hours and hours of its own conversation. But something for me and Hecky here is that we do have a lot of personalized spiritual things.
Actually,
and slapping a freaking googly eye on the forehead in the finale is like, oh, come on, okay, you're going straight for that.
Yeah, part of that is one of those things that's really interesting with me about this is with the. I wasn't going to go straight to that. I was going to do something else with to make a point about that, but since we're on the subject,
go ahead.
The googly eye, it being a googly eye is almost more important than it being a third eye.
Yes.
The fact that it is something silly, it is something whimsical. A lot of people think of personal growth, they think of stuff like that as being this dead fucking serious bullshit. No.
You're just stoic and everything is perfect now. You always know the right answer. Yeah.
That's the path of enlightenment, is being stoic.
Yeah.
And it's not just that, it's the fact that it also grounded her to Wayman.
Yeah. It grounds her to Wayman. It's something to technically grounds her to everybody.
I mean, it's all of these connections. The interesting thing to me with him in particular is that I'm going to just flat say, I'm just going to say right out, hey, I'm a Caucasian guy. I'm not fucking super versed in Chinese culture. So let's get that out of the way. But in our thing, like, a bunch of comedies have this dopey-ass dad. And in some ways, he plays into that stereotype. But in some ways, it's like, oh, this guy's kind of an idiot or whatever, but...
He's genuine and heartfelt.
He's real.
Yeah.
Makes
me think of my dad.
In some ways, yeah. Like, in
the way that he attempts little things, yeah.
He's very easily, like, because she's frustrated with him. And understandably so. Honestly, and not to get too personal, but, like, I'm looking at this character, Evelyn. They didn't give us her Chinese name. They just gave us Evelyn.
They did kind of.
When did they give us? Oh, in the flashbacks?
In the flashbacks, on the credits of the movie, like at the end of
the movie
everything.
Of the part one, yeah.
Oh, yes, it
credits
did.
have her name on it.
But what I was going to say is, Evelyn, I'm looking at her, I'm like, I bet Gilly really identifies with her. Having this husband that seems kind of like an idiot Dorcas.
That's funny, because I was thinking the inverse.
Really?
Yeah, which I guess that in itself is fitting too. If anyone's identifying themselves with anybody in a movie, someone else likely identifies them with somebody else in it.
I mean, yes.
Which that in itself is fitting.
But yeah, like, she's incredibly empathizable.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm that one security guard that had to get the butt plug to do the really sick martial arts.
You're the guy that's chasing the butt plug all over while she's trying to keep away with it.
Some days that's all of us. Some days we're all the security guard with the butt plug.
just trying to get that booty stuffed.
Yeah, you're trying to get that kung fu butt plug.
That scene, again, super glad they turned Disney down.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know what they were off. It might have been a Disney Plus like episode of a show or something, but they're like, no, we're
making this.
I'm so happy.
Sorry, we're making our butt plug movie about family. About what?
Oh, it's gonna have the through line of, at first you're gonna be like, God, I wish this woman was a better mother, and it's gonna end with, God, I hope she saves her daughter from committing suicide. Like,
well, it's fascinating.
What happens there?
Because it's obviously the and I can't believe I'm saying this, the everything donut. Bagel, sorry, not donut. Round things, they all come together in my head. Maybe in my alternate universe it was a donut.
Yeah.
But bagel, the everything bagel, the symbolism being, of course, it's round, cyclical, so on and so forth, and Evelyn being the one to break the cycle that her family put on her before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It being a movie
that
about
generational trauma.
Yeah, like, it is a movie about, well, interpersonal conflict and generational trauma, and at first I went into this thinking, okay, well, is this going to be one of those where it matters if this is all real or if this is a psychotic break in this character's head or not? That question's not in my mind anymore. That's academic. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah. I mean, it's something to like be sitting there, and by the final scenes of the movie, I'm just accepting that I'm seeing like 6 or 7 different plot lines going on at the exact same time, because the thing you're getting is all the stuff having the emotional plot lines of everything going on, that it doesn't matter what the individual circumstances of everything is. It matters this is what this is. It matters this is the two people in a life where Joy never existed. This is where Joy is gay and has to deal with her mother rejecting because she's afraid that her father's not going to accept her granddaughter being gay. This is the universe where your daughter is an omnipotent being sucking everything into a black hole bagel. Like, but it's like, it doesn't matter. These are so many plot lines happening at once. It matters this through line through them. And
Yeah, it's all the same story.
Yeah.
No matter what setting, it's all the same story. And the story is about, this younger generation being faced with all these hopes and dreams piled onto them and not being offered any fucking empathy in their lives.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And at the end, it's about empathy. Like, I mean, I feel like I'm just saying very basic bitch shit, but,
It's also your first time seeing the movie, and I did just say, all right, cool, we just finished watching it, and hit record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is me putting you on the spot, but I
mean, I did make a whole bunch of things. Like, because, like, whenever I was thinking, okay, well, it's very interesting because it buries the lead. Because, like, at first, Alpha Wayland, God, I'm bad at names.
Wayman.
Not Wayland Yutani, Wayman. Alpha Wayman's like, oh yeah, we got to get things back to, the way it was before and whatnot. And, like, you think this is, you're like, okay, is what she thinks the way it was before, like, oh, my daughter's not going to be gay, it's going to be living this perfect life, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then at the end...
It's all the evil versions of you's fault. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
God, that line.
It's Satan's fault. That's what's going on here.
That fucking line.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, the growth of the main character is just phenomenal.
I think
and even
the one thing that really solidifies her, like, her growth and her being like, wait, no, like, my family did some fucked up shit, was her turning to her dad and being like, how could you give me up like that? Not why, but how.
Yeah.
That had me in the theaters the first time, just like tears down my face. I'm like, I can't with this movie.
It's just a lot. And Actually, before I say anything else, if I am hogging the conversation, I tend to, so just butt in.
You have a lot to say. And like I said, I wanted to get y'all's reaction, so I'm cool with just sitting here and just jumping in every now and again.
I mean, I will say that, like, because you bring up about, like, that got you crying in the theaters, and I've come to find a thing for me when I see, like, discuss any kind of media with people, is there's a lot of, like, with this movie, I've heard everybody at some point cries in the movie, and I always find it interesting that for a lot of movies, it seems like it depends. Like, there's different times when someone will do it. I imagine this is a movie where that very much is so, too. Because you mentioned, like, that point in it. And for me, because it's all about, you know, the personal things you're about. And for me, it's, like, the scene talking about... I mean, there's, like, a couple points that was, like, starting to kind of tear up sort of, like, throughout, like, the third act. But then it's particularly, like, of all things, the guy being, like... I've never had Rakudi, you know, so I can't do things alone. To her saying, well, you're, you know, that's a good thing you're not doing it alone. And it shows all these different scenes of people not doing things alone. And that's always the thing that gets me in a lot of films, too, is messages about that.
Actually, yeah, I wrote it down. I'm useless all alone. We're all useless all alone.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you're not alone.
Exactly, yeah. Thank you for writing that exact line, yeah. That got me pretty hard.
Oh, it's been that, like... Oh, go ahead.
Look, just... in that line of that too, that like you get the immediate part. I think right after it was when they all are in a line, the family trying to grab her and pull her back out of the thing.
I was crying earlier than that, though.
Oh yeah. And, well, as I'll say this, and then I'll throw it back to you. But like, I like too that the quote conclusion of things isn't simple. Like, I couldn't really pinpoint to what the conclusion of this was, because you have that scene of them doing that and them saying we're not doing this alone, and at the same time in another universe showing, I need you to back off. I need you to let me go. And he goes, okay. And so they let off. And then back in another universe again, I'm going to run up and I'm going to say a bunch of shit because I'm not fucking perfect. And I'm mad about all these things. And we need to just be mad at each other and emotional. It doesn't make sense. Let's just be emotional. And it's several different conclusions, yeah.
Well, that's not a conclusion. It's all of it. Again, it's everything, everywhere all at once. That's all of the things that they needed to feel through a bunch of different stuff. You can feel all of that.
Yeah, I don't mean conclusion to what's going on as much as it's like what's leading into attempting to wrap up the plot of the movie, but not wrapping up what's actually going on with the characters. It is more complex. There isn't an ending to what's going on with the characters, and that's
Speaking of that, my favorite part about that part is that they still fucked up their taxes.
Yeah.
The poor teacher's just like, God damn it.
She's like, you did it right, but you also didn't do it right.
Yeah. What were you going to say about when you teared up?
Oh, I don't actually have that pinpointed when I started tearing up. I just remember there being, at some moment, I started crying. What I was going to say is, before we go
we got to do a less
further,
dense movie next time.
Yeah, seriously, this is not something that we don't have to fucking write notes on. But one of the things is that I wanted to talk about that wasn't about the themes of the movie is that no movie is made in a vacuum, and no movie is made just by a director. And I just despise movie podcasts that are like, well, this director's so brilliant, I bet he did this. And no. The fucking editor edited that.
Ooh.
The storyboard artist storyboarded that. The lighting people lit that. Fucking Jobu's goddamn trip, like the fashion designers, there were people there were people going nuts with sewing machines.
The camera work is fantastic in like every scene. Like
camera work is phenomenal.
The choreography.
Also, I have to slight tiny tangent on you mentioning the lighting too, because I know that's a thing a lot of people complain about, and they should complain about it, that a lot of modern movies for some reason are dog shit at lighting. Like, trying to make everything look, quote, realistic, and the lighting just ends up hiding what's going on. I always could tell what was going on in this movie. The lighting was always good at showing the importance of the characters in the scene.
It showed what it showed, it hid what it should hid.
Exactly.
And the colors,
it's a very vibrant movie.
For this to be so chaotic and showing a bunch of fucking scenes in succession all at once, all these different things, you could always follow the action.
Yes.
Her jumping through all these different bodies, changing different, locations. Her body was always moving the same thing. It was always clear where the motion was going, what she was doing, what she was holding. It was not... There are so many movie fight scenes that are in one location that I'm like, I have no idea what just happened. And not in a good way. That sure was a lot of light and sound.
Yeah.
I think for this movie, all of the main locations are the IRS building.
And the laundromat.
And a van.
The van and... And there was the movie theater. There are a lot of locations. There's the movie theater. There's the restaurant. Some street
there's a lot of
but the main ones. You're right. Yeah.
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 The
You're correct.
Prime Evelyn for this one, because she's not the Alpha Evelyn, but she's like the prime center one for it.
Main character.
Yeah.
Protag Evelyn. P Evelyn.
Yeah.
Pevelyn.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, how much of that main part of it is technically in the same locations. Why is my phone going off? Sorry.
Did you not silence it?
I thought I did. I didn't.
Which is your living room. Also, we're going to talk about the acting real quick, and then I'm going to throw a fact at y'all that y'all might find hilarious.
So fucking good, the acting.
There was not a bad person in this movie.
No one was bad.
I think you said while we were watching it too that even the extras were really, really good.
All the extras were great. The action scenes were great. There weren't really much in the way of what I would call an extra, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there weren't a bunch of crowd shots. A lot of the people you saw that were what would be
very
extras,
up close.
You still saw them several times, which is kind of cool. So even the extras, everyone's a good actor. Everyone's a good physical actor.
I mean, you got Michelle. Yeah, you can't.
No, she's wonderful. She's always wonderful. I didn't expect. What is the actor's name? The man who played the male lead.
Ki Han Kwan.
I didn't expect him to be so good.
He was.
Yeah.
I kept seeing all these memes about do it for him and all this stuff about how he said it and precious or whatever shit. And I'm like, all right, yeah, I get it.
He is precious.
Really good.
It's it's really interesting because that is Short Round. He still inflects the same way. I don't know if they were told he was told to lean into it or not, but
so the directors told him to act like different animals for different.
Oh my god,
universes.
It makes perfect sense.
That's
because movie star was supposed to be either a fox or a Prime was supposed to be a squirrel, I think.
Yeah.
That's such a good way of doing that too.
Oh my god, that's perfect. Yeah, if you want an actor to channel something, just tell them to pretend they're an animal. Yeah.
So originally, the two leads were supposed to be played by, instead of Michelle Yeoh, it would have been Jackie Chan.
I can see Chan.
And instead of Joy, the actor playing Joy is Stephanie Hugh. Instead of her, it was supposed to be Aquafina.
I do not know who that is.
That's a drink.
I have.
Yeah, the other day.
It sure is. It's also a rapper / actor, but it wouldn't be I don't think it would have hit the same personally.
No, I don't. Well, considering I don't even know who Aquafina is.
Yeah.
Sisu.
Sisu?
What's the name of that movie? As I furiously type into my keyboard.
The Life Aquatic?
No, not Steve
Sisu. Okay, not Steve Sisu. Okay.
Familiar.
It's the dragon from that Disney movie that I watched and enjoyed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's all of them. You watch it, you enjoy it, you forget about it.
Raya and the Last Dragon, that movie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She was. This doesn't mean anything to Hecky, but she was in the Shang-Chi movie too.
Oh, okay.
I remember you pointing that out when we watched it. Were you saying one of them was a rapper? And she was like the best part of that movie. So yeah.
I will say, actually, when it comes to the craft, they got to do a lot of really fun makeup, but I've noticed at the base level for the base level characters, their makeup was very naturalistic. Like, as in,
they just felt like normal people.
The daughter character looked like a girl wearing regular makeup. She didn't look perfect.
Yeah.
She didn't look hideous. She just looked like a person.
Natural. She looked natural.
Yeah, they did really like that. Natural makeup is something that I just like. I'm like, if you could just make a person look in a movie like they look every day, that's an amazing feat. Because they always
only
get
like
airbrushed with it.
The only like universe where they're all gutsied up is the Hollywood universe, and that
Which
one makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any of the ones where she was on stage, of course they were gussied up, but like everyone looked like people, and that's refreshing. That's
it was
very, very refreshing.
Definitely, yeah. It was so good at hitting, like, because this is the thing I think like, a lot of people get really scared of in a lot of media, but it manages to hit the thing of if you can sell the characters and sell the idea you're doing, you can have ridiculous crap going on and still have be invested into this emotional story. Like how many times, like I think you said it while we were watching it, that's like, oh, don't make me cry over like hot dog fingers and people playing piano with their feet because you invested me so much in it. I accept this.
I was entirely emotionally invested in hot dog finger people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and or like the scenes like the Rock sitting on the thing and one of them turning around to have the Evelyn one turning around to have the googly eyes. So good. Like
it was such a good fucking moment.
Yeah. Like,
the funny thing about like the hot dog scene, not hot dog scene, the first Rock scene is that would have been a perfect ending for the movie.
Yeah, they could have ended it there. They could have absolutely ended it there, but they chose not to.
Just have the big climax stuff there, yeah, and they kept going, and I'm glad they did. Like each time they kept going, it's like I'm glad. Like this is just adding in more great stuff to those.
Sorry, I'm highlighting some things.
I am looking up like the stunt crew and everybody for this movie, and I'm just gonna call him butt plug security guard.
Yeah.
Also he did stunts for Bullet Train, which is another movie that if you have not seen,
it is great.
We can be the ones that saw the movie if you want to
show that to somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next time we bring in somebody, we'll do Bullet Train again. Bullet Train was super good. Actually, that's one of those. That's one of those that's good for watching more than once, I think, too.
Great movie.
I mean, this movie's good for watching more than once because I'm just sitting here like, all right, I see where that's going. I see where that's going. Oh, that's a callback to something earlier I didn't catch the time.
Actually,
the guy's name was Richard Long, which is a reference to one of the director's short films called The Return of Dick Long.
Yeah?
Dick Long, my bad.
The Rock sequence that you mentioned. During the Rock sequences, any parts where the Rocks were on screen, no one fucking spoke. We were not like there was you see the Rocks and like there was a few chuckles at first and then dead fucking silence as we watched these Rocks talk.
You just accept it, yeah. You've invested me in it that I will roll with this idea, yeah.
These people are now Rocks and I'm here for it. Also, I just heard the Rocks speaking in their voices.
Yeah, me too. And with their same inflections, the writing was very good there.
Strong, stupidly strong writing.
Part of me just imagine like selling this movie to the actors too. Like,
just like,
all right, it's gonna be a lot.
You're gonna be a Rock.
You're gonna be Rocks.
Okay, but it's a really emotional scene. But you got it right. Also, we'll have you throw a shield like you did in Wing Chun that one time when you curved the tofu. It'll be.
I was gonna say Wing Chun thing because it felt very fitting by the end of the movie to have the actress who was from Wing Chun, the martial arts that's a lot of moving things with the flow of stuff and throwing things off of you, to be kind of how she's handling things in other metaphorical ways, like.
Okay, yeah, I'm so glad you brought it up, because this actually rounds out something that I wrote down as well. A lot of this is about the fracturing of the nature of the self due to like everyday life, and calling on basic your skills from all your different roles. If you're looking at this as a metaphor, her fucking doing her taxes wrong, she's monetizing, she's saying, okay, well, the singing and the cooking and the whatever, all of those are skills that she does have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she's forcing them into being a professional thing. The whole thing about this is that she's using all those skills. These aren't just skills from other lives.
Yeah, I did not even think about that avenue of it. Yeah, that all, like, looking back on it, all the different multiverses were the ones that were brought up in that scene. It's all the different aspects of, if you just monetize this, you still have your own problems, and if you did this, you still have this issue in it. But these are still things that you enjoyed. These are still things that you like for what they are.
These are all part of you. And it's sort of like, it's similar to how, yeah, like, okay, I'll never be a chef. I do enjoy cooking. My work will never hang in the fucking Louvre. I paint. And a lot of the things that... Oh.
No, you go.
A lot of the things that we have learned through, say... I like science. I know a lot of science. I've been able to apply that science to the cooking and to messing around with baking, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a scientist. But I'm applying all of these different things that I've learned through different disciplines to one part of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a kind of everything is connected. All of these different versions of yourself.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Everyone does it. No one thinks about the fact that they do it.
Yeah. Like,
it just became a superpower for Evelyn.
Yeah.
I mean, because she had super science.
Like, I kept wanting to try to find some reason to bring it up, because I kept thinking about it throughout the movie, but I couldn't think of what to say about it. That there was an immediate thing that made me think of the show Sense8. Because the premise of that is about a lot of people who just have their own lives and their own skills, their own knowledge of things, being connected and being able to share experiences with each other through that, and what that means together when they're doing that. But also that they're having to share the emotional experiences and having to share everything else there too. And this is kind of being the avenue, but both with these experiences just of yourself, of all the different variations of yourself through different lives, but also just your own day-to-day one, and then the experiences you're getting through everybody else around you. Which just goes back to the title again, that it's just everything at once.
But she masters it. She manages to be able to, like you said, she manages to be able to move through it, to shrug through it, and again, even though everything isn't perfect in the end, she was able to pull her daughter back from the brink with the help of everyone.
It's not perfect at the end, but it is.
It can keep going.
Yeah,
you can keep enjoying this moment of time and keep going.
It's not perfect. It is. I can't figure out a good analogy for this. I'm going to rip my head off and throw it across the door.
I think this movie had to have such slapstick in it, because if it didn't, it would have been none of the meanings. None of the meanings would have meant anything. It has to have it.
And understanding the complexity of the meaning of everything, also it has to involve being able to laugh at it. Laugh at it and laugh with it.
And just one of the things I remember her name as Joy, not the other name, Jobu. One of the things
Jobu
that Jobu
Tabaki?
said, yeah, Jobu Tobacco, which there's no way that name was not on purpose.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter what her name is. It's just a random collection of word letters. So
Yeah. Her something that she just mentioned, everything's fractured moments, contradictions, and confusion, and a few specks of time where anything makes sense. Like, that is some fucking next level shit.
Mm-hmm.
Just go ahead.
no, finish what you're saying.
Just to be just in a movie. Like, I don't know how deep you want to go into this.
I think that's about good right there, because I was about to pivot to something I found that was interesting.
Oh, I just meant the subject of the movie itself, like how long we want to go.
Like, I assume however long we go, you can always cut it back down. So
Yeah, I was about to say,
Anyway.
we could probably go for like another 10 minutes.
All right.
Be an easy edit. But
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to swerve somewhere because there was only 5 artists doing visual effects for this whole movie.
What?
hope to.
Sorry, I just peeked out.
I hope they were not overworked.
How? Was most of it just like... How?
Using Adobe After Effects on top of that.
Oh, those poor babies. After Effects is a harsh mistress.
Yeah.
Actually, huh.
Actually, I assume I've never actually used it. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've used it fairly extensively. It can be great. Actually, these days is way easier than when I started using it.
It's
It
some
just
universe,
does the effects for you sometimes.
some other timeline out there where I know everything about After Effects.
So
I mean, it's not easy to learn. It's still an uphill battle, but it is much more versatile than it's ever been. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
they had a bad experience with a big post-production studio with their first movie, so they're like, do it smaller in-house with people that work for us. So I guess that was less stress for everybody involved. And also,
Except
like, it wasn't a ton of visual, like, there were some visual effects, but
Was a lot of it just practical?
a lot of that I couldn't tell you. I know that Jamie Lee Curtis didn't have a prosthetic like stomach for the whole movie. She's like, I'm a person. I'm just cool.
Wait, that's
What?
who that was?
Yeah.
That was Jamie Lee Curtis? What the fuck?
Holy shit. I was sitting there.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh my god. I was sitting there wondering who that was. I think I was wondering mostly because of like, okay, this is a weird train of thought with it. But there's a lot of times when I watch movies now that I think about how often they get like people that already know stunts to do acting stuff for a lot of things. I mean, like I forgot the name of Evelyn's actor.
Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
That, she's already someone that knew martial arts. So I was like, oh, okay, they have someone who's just this strong person already for these scenes, right? It's like, okay, no, that's just Jamie Lee Curtis. Okay, like, I don't know why I did not. Yeah, I could see it now.
I mean, don't talk low about Laurie Strode.
No, I mean, no, yeah, she. I have not seen those movies. I should just say that too. I've not seen those movies either.
No one was talking low. I guess, actually, since you were like, we in 10 minutes, this will be the last thing I bring up. The little monologue that the movie stars had, where he says, when I choose to see the good in anything, it isn't being naive, it is being strategic, and this is how I survive. That's kind of like this movie's fucking Tears and Rain speech. You know?
That was the second time I cried at this movie.
That was brilliant. That's an absolute brilliant thing, and Of course, there is the obvious Joy's name being auspicious. He probably named her.
I was going to say something along about that part too, in the sense that I basically have said something about. I basically said that before in my life.
Yeah, you've told me that.
Yeah, because I've had times where, as much as things are hard, I try to be like always constantly optimistic about things, even when I'm just like, this is shit today, but I'm gonna keep looking at it like this. To which some people respond to me, well, that's fucking crazy. You don't have any reason to do that. I'm like, well, because that's how I survive. Like, I've got
to focus on the bad things.
Yeah, I've got to be able to look at what can be good here and keep moving. So yeah, I definitely appreciate that in there.
And the fact that, like, you know, everything's breaking down and he chooses to be kind. Like, he gets them out of bullshit, even though he seems like a big dingus.
I mean, he's a big dingus. Like,
Absolutely.
Make no mistake.
he is
Magnum
the
dingus.
lovable dingus, though.
Like, yeah. Oh, I did want to point out that Gong Gong and Wayland, they speak different dialects of Chinese.
Yep.
And the thing in the movie, there's a lot of times where Evelyn's muttering, and she says something and they never translate it. She's just saying crazy. She's calling everything crazy.
I mean, fair. She had such a believable reaction to all this bullshit that's just thrown at her, by the way.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I didn't keep a counter, but, like, no, surely, like, 3 or 4 times she's just muttering crazy under her breath.
Also her saying, no, I can't help you save the universe. I have to worry about my taxes. Like,
Damn!
Oh, yeah.
I felt that in the being.
What else could be as important as
Alpha
this moment
First
right
DJ
now?
felt it.
Yeah. Also, another piece of random trivia, because I like that. The raccoon was played by Randy Newman.
Really?
Oh my god.
Actually, they were singing. Yes, I recognize. I thought they were just riffing on Randy Newman's stuff. I didn't know it was actually him.
That's pretty great.
Brilliant. But all in all, yeah, this is a brilliant movie. I could fucking write a thesis on it.
Yeah.
Just from the few notes that I've taken and my own weird personal experiences with mysticism.
Yeah. Well, this is the first episode. 50 episodes from now, we'll watch it again with somebody else and do it all over again.
Maybe.
So, we're not going to do a rating system because I think rating systems for movies are...
They're for cowards.
Yeah, but I think the ultimate barometer for if a movie is good or not is, would you watch this again?
Yes.
Oh yeah, God, yes.
Absolutely. You said before we watched it that you own a copy. I want to own a copy, a physical copy.
Yeah.
Yes, I would like a physical copy of this so it doesn't disappear on me.
Yeah, I definitely would watch it.
However, if it does disappear on me and I never see it again, well, that's in keeping with the one of the messages of letting go of what doesn't matter.
Yep. There is so much that's hard to explain about this movie, and that is the rating of the movie. That is fitting.
Yeah, and again, it's a very fitting to life movie. It's I think a lot of people won't be in the place to see it mentally.
You do have to be in a certain...
You have to be in a certain mind frame, and you have... Go ahead.
I don't think if you're like extremely emotionally raw from something, you should go into expecting a ha-ha kung fu flick, because I mean, you'll get that for half of the movie.
You'll get a lot of ha-ha kung fu, but also
Again, that's
You'll
why
be sobbing.
that's why the humor was so important. Like a rodeo clown.
I laughed and cried at the same time during some scenes, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, it's again, clowns are actually pretty important in life. Rodeo clowns distracting you from the pain of what you're seeing, but you're still experiencing it. You're experiencing what you need to experience. You're facing the bull.
I want to learn the monologue Jobu Tupaki does, the can't and not allowing me.
God.
Yeah.
That was such a good...
That was so good.
I don't think you know what that word means.
I need to watch this movie again. In the context of everything that happens,
Her drip is amazing.
Yeah.
I just keep going back to that.
It's such good drip. She's the effective
Queen.
villain for the first half of the movie too.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
is. And then you find out the villain is actually just not being empathetic and and the cycle of life
Yeah.
of abuse.
Yep.
The parental and generational abuse. You know, funny things. Haha.
So
Or
good.
actually, and the cycle of being too fucking hard on yourself all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
Because then she realized, wait, no, I like doing laundry with you.
Yeah.
Actually, that's what it was. Oh, that's what made me cry. We're like, I go through all these lives and I spend it doing laundry with you.
I'm going to have to watch this movie again with the context that there's a shit ton of circles in it. To think about the
Oh yeah,
laundromat
no,
now.
like once you
Yeah.
notice it, you just keep seeing them.
Yeah.
But that's a drinking game that'll kill you.
Yep.
So yeah,
So,
I'll watch it again.
and before we go,
What's our closeout statement?
not
Gay.
that yet.
I'm gay.
Okay.
That's my favorite.
Before we go, I got one last question. I'm gonna ask two things at the end. Did you watch it again? And what was your favorite scene?
Don't do that to me.
But I've done it to you, and you can't pick the whole movie.
The rock scene.
Very strong one.
The rock scene where they're sitting down and they're like, yeah, this kind of sucks. And like, I'm looking at him like, they're talking about the wonders of the universe, and poor Jobu can only see how it diminishes her. And that was very, instead of the Sagan light looking up at the stars, she can only see it as diminishing, and that was poignant. But then they both laughed about it. And it coming around full circle to the end there of them being able to deal with that was just the rock theme. There you go.
Gilly?
Is there a rule that we can't say the same one as somebody else? I'm trying really hard to think of like the other ones, but my brain keeps going, like keeps pointing out the rock scene.
Hey, look. If that's the one, that's the one.
I don't know if it's the one. Okay, I'm gonna say on this viewing. In the future, I think it'll change. For this viewing, I think so. For the sense of how it
What's the one for
is saying the rock one again, but in like for this viewing, but in the sense of like how it's such a it's encapsulate. Fuck me. It is everything that the movie is about in one scene, while also strangely being a brevity to the movie of all of the chaos that's happened. For everything to just kind of stop right here to do this.
It's a pit stop.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just need that.
Yeah, which is probably why it sticks out so much in my movie, because it's such a, it just collides and everything
beautiful.
goes like you're saying, we all
The
went
deafening
quiet.
silence.
Yeah, and so that kind of thing, it's a good point that then breaks back into the rest of the movie.
And
So it is a very good scene.
You could play the rock scene outside of the movie, and it still means something to people.
Yeah.
For me, on this viewing, and this is going to sound weird, it's the scene where they are near the end, where they are in the, I guess, family living room, and like Evelyn is finally like straight up confronting Joy after like breaking her mind up in all these different fractions, and she's like, okay, so gonna fight, hit me. And just that whole it's not a deep thing, it was just funny to me this time. Like it got me harder than it did the first time. Yeah, the chicken fight, and then the ow wow.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, stop it. It was such a real mother-daughter moment.
It was. It's so good. It doesn't feel like omniscient beings just fucking decking each other. It's just a mother-daughter.
That's why it is such a poignant movie, is because because I think omniscient beings are like that.
Yeah.
Because they are gods by the end of this movie. Like, that's not to be debated.
That's literally...
They don't not become gods. They're still gods.
No, they're still gods. They never gave up their power. But I believe that's a lot how a supernatural entity would be.
Yeah. So.
And I think that's beautiful.
What should a closeout statement be?
Actually, I'm going with Techie. I'm gay.
I'm gay.
My usual one is stay hydrated, so I think I'm gonna stick with that.
Stay hydrated to be gay. I mean, look, this movie tells you to be gay. No, it just tells you to accept your kids. It tells you to accept your kids if they are gay.
Which is an important message. Accept your children and drink water.
Drink Aquafina.
This has got to get real weird in the context of some movies. Bye.
Bye. Sorry I drove away all the viewers.
That's fine. They'll come back.